I asked to give my testimony today, and I did so because I'm asking for all of your prayers and your continued prayers after I leave. For over the last 2 years, I've lived with some extreme pain all throughout my back. It all started over 2 years ago in December of 2006. A doctor performed a surgery on me to fix something in my stomach. I woke up from that surgery and I had just extreme pain from here to here, and from then on it was tough for me to get out of bed. I went through a ton of different tests through hospitals, and I found out that the original surgery I had was a mistake to have and that I didn't need it. Meanwhile, my back was getting worse and worse every day, and my grades dropped and my life just became miserable. I was so angry that I found out that that doctor had made that mistake. A man that I really trusted and liked made that mistake. That anger kind of turned inward and I became such an unhappy person. I pulled back from all my friends and I just stayed home. I was so angry and every day, and people didn't want to be around me anymore because they could just feel the hatred coming off of me. My back was hurting and my life was just miserable. I ignored God and just stopped going to church. I knew He was there, but I blamed God for my pain. I knew He could take away my pain. I mean, He can do anything in the universe, right? Why wouldn't He take away my pain? I thought that Jesus had failed me. I didn't want to live any longer. My back was just hurting me so much that I couldn't sleep at night. Some nights I would get 1 to 2 hours of sleep, and most nights I just wouldn't sleep at all. I would just stay up, just in so much pain and agony. I just had no hope in life. Every doctor I went to just failed me. I went to 2 to 3 doctors a week for months to try and figure it out. I drove for hours to all these specialists, and they never found out what's wrong with my back. My family was scared that I might hurt myself because I was so depressed that they put me in the hospital. I spent a week there, and I met this woman doctor who decided that it would help me if they undid what that first surgeon had done in me. For the first time in months, I had hope. I was so excited, but instead of putting my trust in God to fix me and trust in God to help the doctors fix me, I put all my trust into that one doctor, and that's probably why that wasn't successful. I came out of that surgery even worse. That was October of 2007, so a little over a year ago. And after that, I fell back into that same hopeless person, but this time probably a little worse. I went to more and more doctors every day, but no one could help me. I went through life for a whole year as just this emotionless shell, just as a zombie going through life, just sleep deprived, just kind of going through the motions of life. I went to church. A lot of people didn't really know how much I was truly suffering. I just kind of was in life just to be living. I relied heavily on alcohol to escape. I would go to parties, but I would also just drink at night just to get some sleep because I was desperate for sleep. I experimented with some drugs to help take my pain away, and those actually did for a very short time. But those emotionally and just spiritually, those were so rough on me because I knew they were wrong. I could justify the alcohol just because my family and my family's culture I could just justify it to myself even though it was wrong. But the drugs I couldn't justify. So for a whole year I relied on alcohol to relieve my pain. This past Christmas, my high school pastor asked me to give my testimony at a camp in the mountains with my church. I really didn't want to do it. I didn't think I was worthy to do it, but for the first time in a while I could feel God inside of me again, and I knew He wanted me to do this. So I decided to give my testimony in front of a couple hundred people. And I was so happy that I did, because after that I had hundreds of people praying for me, and I really saw the power of prayer that day. Because that day I realized that I didn't have to suffer alone, that God was with me and He had been with me and carrying me the whole time. In 1 Peter it says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised in the painful trial you are suffering," that was me, "as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice that you are participating in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when His glory is revealed." I realized that I shouldn't be blaming God for my suffering, but instead be praising Him that He gave me life and that He loved me enough for the chance of eternal life with Him. And that was way more than just my little suffering that I have on earth right now. Just the chance for eternal life was greater. I messed up so many times, and I made so many mistakes, especially in the last year. But God's forgiven me, and it's sometimes so hard to trust in Him, because I don't know if God's going to take my pain, when He'll heal me, or if He'll ever heal me in this life. But I do know that God will be with me every step of the way. And I have one more verse that this verse has kind of always been in my life the last 2 years. Whenever I felt God, I just felt back to this verse, and I've read it every day of this trip. And it's 2 Corinthians 4:18. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, for what is unseen is eternal.